Hello everyone, and welcome to the Brickformula review of LEGO set 7958, the LEGO Star Wars Advent Calendar. It has 266 pieces for ages 6 to 14, and it's from the Star Wars series, and this set retails for $39.99. And I would like to give a shout out to Reptile Guy is here, Yoji Shay, and MSX Ander 99. They are the subscribers who had requested that I review this set, so everyone check out their channels. And I would have reviewed this before Christmas, but I didn't really want to spoil it for you guys, even though others have. But I didn't want to be that guy. And I know it's 2012, so Happy New Year, by the way. Here on the side, we have the minifigures. We'll see more of them later. And here in the back, we see the main feature, which is a little gift each day before Christmas. For the first 24 days, of course. It's kind of like a quick fix for your LEGO addiction until you get to the main course on Christmas Day. And now to see what it's all about. So to get to the main feature, what you do is you cut the tape down here and you open this thing up and you'll see a really cool looking picture. On the top right corner we have the Death Star in the ribbon, which is the Emperor's Christmas present, and it looks like there's a Category 5 Hurricane on Endor. That's going to be a lot of little Ewoks flying around. And down here we have Lego Santa Yoda. Check out who's naughty and nice. And if you take a closer look, you'll see that there are numbers 1 to 24, and they're located pretty randomly over here. And what you do is you open the door here, and you'll see the instructions on the other side, and you build that particular model on that day. One for each day before Christmas. Now, if you find this picture to be really cool and you want to hang it up, and you don't want to open those doors, that's just fine. You can just do what I did. You can just open it from the side here. And what you'll end up getting is this really big ice cube tray full of parts. Of course, the only bad thing is that you can't see how to build them. So you can either watch this review, in which I'll have a stop motion on how to build them, or you can just buy another box, but I think check out the review is better, right? And here we go. As usual, we'll start the minifigures. The first one is Newt Gunray, and you get him in day 2. I gotta say, he's got a really strange name for a Star Wars character. You know, if he grew up in the same school as I came from, they probably would have changed his name to Nude Gunray. And that sounds like it has more than one meaning just by itself. And judging by his face, it seems like he did have that kind of childhood. And this hat piece is really neat too. Now what's really cool is that on day 3, you get to build this thing, which is called a Mechno chair. And this is like a little accessory for Newt Gunray. Basically he sits on this thing, and there you go. He's now a little taller than everybody. And it looks pretty neat. It's too bad I can't say the same about Chewbacca over here. I mean, I like Chewie, but not when I already have 20 of these guys. I'll probably have a small Wookiee army now. And the worst part of it is that he's not only a waste of 1, but 2 calendar spots, because you get to build this thing to hold his tools and his crossbow, which honestly, I can probably live without it. I think it would be better if they gave me like a miniature B-Wing, or some other Imperial craft. Just something, not Chewie. On day 8, I like how we get this generic Rebel pilot. Now he has the same minifigure head as Zev from the Hoth Wampa Cave set, but this time he has a bright white helmet, which is pretty good too if you want to customize your own pilot. Perhaps you want your own avatar in the Star Wars universe as a Rebel pilot. So this is the guy you want to get. And right behind him, you'll notice that I have this weapon rack over here, which is pretty nice. You know, if I'm going to call this thing a rack, I should get at least 2 of these parts, side by side. Okay, maybe that's a bad joke. Anyway, you have 2 blasters over here, a lightsaber for Yoda, and a pair of binoculars. So not bad. Next up is a battle droid, and you'll probably recognize him from the Battle of Naboo. What makes him so special is got a blue torso with that white or tan printing there on the front there. And that's it. He has a blaster. Not much to say about that guy. Next up is R2Q5. I think that's his name. Anyway, what makes him so special is that he was available in the Death Star, and I think the Star Destroyer set, so he's kind of rare. And he was selling pretty high on Bricklink if I remember right. So it's really cool that he's included in this set. Now, in the instructions they have his head like this. Honestly, I don't think there's a wrong way to put it on here since the droid's head's supposed to move like a full 360. So no big deal over there. And the same goes with the mouse droid. This was also available in the Death Star and the Star Destroyer. Although honestly, this thing is really simple to build. You can probably do it with your extra parts. On day 16, you get to build this clone pilot. And you haven't seen this guy since 2009. And what's strange about him is that they gave him the black minifigure head. I'm surprised they didn't give him the face one, since those are pretty common now. And if you want, you can give him the blaster from the weapons rack for some added playabilities. And there you go. Next up is the TIE Fighter pilot. Now you've probably seen him before in the TIE Defender set. And here he is all around. He's got the black head going on again. But it looks like we'll be seeing him again real soon. Or for those in the UK, that you probably seen him already because he's in the new TIE Fighter set. And there he is. Not much to it, but still pretty cool. And finally, we get the exclusive Santa Yoda. And here he is up close. We have a little bit of green on the torso there for his neck. And there it is. And right behind him, he has his bag with these two presents here. Considering the size, I'm guessing those are just chocolate bars. And here's the back. And there's no details there. Well, at least he'll have no problem going down the chimney. And of course, we have the Christmas tree. And this is a pretty cool little model. Even though it's pretty fragile, it's still a nice piece of work. And there's the view from the top. I like how they added this star over here. I thought that was pretty creative. I just wish that the tree was just a little bit taller, just so that this reaches up to a star and hides the stick over here. But overall, it's pretty okay. And just right for the holidays at day 23. And now let's take a look at the miniatures. I think I'll start with the X-Wing first, because if it weren't for the X-Wing, I probably wouldn't be a huge Star Wars fan. It was this thing alone that got me into it. And this is by far the best miniature X-Wing model I have seen so far. I just kind of wish that this part was in either white or gray instead of red. And down here they should have added a cheese slope just so that the model looks more complete on the bottom. However, you do get some extra parts with all these models, so if you want, you just add it there. You do get a gray one. And I think that looks a little bit better. It's up to you. Now, what makes this X-Wing so cool is that you can close the S-foils and then you can open them up again without having to readjust them so much, because these parts here kind of hold it in place, so you don't have to worry about making it look even like previous models. And how cool is that? I think this is probably the coolest model in the whole calendar, but that's just me. Another favorite of mine is the A-Wing. Now this one's a very simple design, and personally I think this one could use some improvements. With the extra parts that you get in the set, you can add some more red to the front, because the A-Wing is supposed to have more red all the way up to the front. I had to pull another one of these from my own collection, but I think it just looks better. And I think the cockpit should have been more bulbous instead of a cheese slope, and I think that works. What do you think? Well, that's what I like about these things too. You can improve them and it still looks pretty good. I think it's more fun that way. Let's see, what else needs improvements? Well, I think the TIE Fighter could use some improvements, but this one is just a lost cause. This thing needs a total rehaul. It's just these two tiles put together, and that's it. That's your TIE Fighter. It's not even to scale with the X-Wing. The Falcon could use some work too. The bottom is largely incomplete. They probably should have put another dish on the bottom, just to be more complete and hide the innards. And the cockpit is really big, totally out of scale. But what can I say, this is the smallest version of the Millennium Falcon, so I guess it's okay, not too bad. I guess you could say the same for the Imperial Shuttle. I've heard some people confuse this as the Imperial Landing Craft, and I think that whenever a model gives you some kind of confusion, that means it wasn't done very well. But then again, at this scale, who can complain? I think it's pretty good. And there it is all around. This part is a little weird up here because the engine is way overexposed, but it's okay, still pretty good. Now on to the miniatures that actually look really good. I'll start with the Republic Cruiser, because you get this on day one, and I gotta say, when I saw this one at first, I was like, ooh, I'm in for a really good calendar this year, because this one gives off a really good impression. The Slave 1 ship is equally impressive. I think they really nailed this one. I mean, look at it. It's got movable wings, and there's the back. It's got the right shape. Just really, really good with this one. The gunship is pretty simple and elegant. See that? And the snowspeeder is just plain awesome. I think they got all the details on this one. See, there's the back. You'll have to excuse the bottom, but otherwise this is a really good model too. The Y-Wing was a pretty big surprise to me. After I saw this, I got my hopes up about maybe there's a B-Wing in this calendar, but no, there isn't. So I kind of wish they did. This way you have all 4 Alliance fighters. But this Y-Wing is pretty cool too. And finally, we have the Spider Droid. I tell you, that's a big gun between the legs. And boy, does that sound weird. And this can rotate. The bottom one doesn't. And there it is. Now on to the recommendations. Overall, this is a really good set. Now, value-wise, it's not that great because we're looking at 15 cents a piece, but I'm willing to overlook that because there's a lot of fun and benefits to this. And if you take a look at how much Yoda, R2-Q5, and the clone pilot is worth, you'll see that they're going for $8 each, so it's not too bad for the value, actually. Now, when it comes to the fun of it, well, you'll notice that there's a lot of opposing sides here. We have the Spider Droid shooting down the gunship. We got the Slave 1 chasing the Falcon to Cloud City. I don't know how much fun you'll have with a lone snowspeeder, but we do have 3 Alliance fighters here about to rip a new one for the 2 Imperials over here. So it's actually pretty good. In fact, I kind of wished that I reviewed this before Christmas. This way I can add some fishing wire and turn all these little miniatures into ornaments for the Christmas tree. I think that would be pretty good. But then again, now that the season's over, a lot of the stores around me actually have this on clearance. I'm just waiting for the price to drop even further. This way I can get multiples of these. And a lot of these things you probably wouldn't mind having multiples of. You get more Rebel pilots and TIE pilots, X-Wings, Snowspeeders. It's pretty good. And plus you get this really cool tray in there, which I showed you earlier in the beginning. If you're a huge Lego enthusiast like me, this is actually pretty handy for parts, you know, for sorting and everything. So that's pretty nice. So in the end, you'll find that this is a pretty fun and beneficial set. And that's it. That sums up my review. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.